Good morning. Good morning from the mountains. I am still at my retreat to the mountains in North Carolina, Murphy, North Carolina. Today is departure day, so we're all very sad. It's a little foggy up here in the mountains. Half of the group has already departed for Florida, and there's still four of us here, just getting ready to pack up. So I'm going to do my Techie Tuesday here, since I will be pretty difficult for me to do it at 5. Hopefully not stuck in Jacksonville traffic. So anyway, we'll hopefully be leaving here by noon. Oh no, we're sad that the retreat is over, as we are after every retreat. Good morning, Stacy. We always have so much fun on the retreats, and so it's just sad that it's over. But excited to be headed home to see my family and to see all of you. So let me see what we are doing here. Okay. So how to get entered for my Fun Friday giveaway on Friday. So I have switched things up a little bit. Instead of having you share on Tuesday and then do a drawing Tuesday night, I'm letting more people have a chance to watch the replay and get in on the fun of the giveaways. So to get entered for the giveaway for this coming Friday, all you have to do is like or love this video. You can share this video. Make sure it's on public so that I get the notification from Facebook. If you haven't pressed the 3 little buttons, and just all you have to do is turn this one post to public. So if the rest of your page is locked down, that's fine, the rest of your profile, but just share this video. You can tag a friend in the chat. Today is Techie Tuesday. We're going to be doing a design along in Artisan 6. And so if you have a friend that's maybe interested in digital scrapbooking, you can tag them in the comments. And then finally, you can place an order. That can be a digital order through any of my avenues. It can be at forever.com. It can be at creativememories.com. It can be through me personally. If you place an order from last week, Friday, all the way till Thursday this week, you will be entered in the Fun Friday giveaway, which will be this Friday at 2 p.m. All right, so just some quick reminders. Coming up in it's the 16th. In a month from today, we will be scrapbooking at the VFW in Port Orange. And so you won't want to miss that. We will be raising money for the Cannonballs for Cane Foundation, as we have in the past. September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. And so that's why we call it the Crop for Gray and Gold, because Cannonballs for Cane, it raises money for families affected by a pediatric brain cancer. So it's good for Childhood Cancer Month. And then, of course, we have our Go Gray in May event for brain cancer. And hopefully you can hear me. I think we've got some busy little bees in the kitchen upstairs. I don't know if you can hear the dishes crashing around the kitchen right now. So this is how we did in May. And we want to do what we did in May again in September. So hopefully you will join us. All right, next Tuesday, of course, she's a little bit covered here. You take away my, next Tuesday, I have my Let's Taco About It event that will be on 5 o'clock next Tuesday, and my special guest will be Debbie Keith. Debbie Keith has attended more of my retreats than any other person. This retreat was my 56th, and I believe this was her 45th. So the retreat I'm running this weekend was my 56th retreat, and Debbie has attended 45 of them, I believe. So we're going to hear about her scrapbooking process. I find that we all find that interesting, what she's scrapbooking, her scrapbook process, and when she started scrapbooking, how many scrapbooks she has. I don't even know if she knows that. But she is a busy bee. If you know Debbie, you know that. So then Croptoberfest, little sneak peek at some of the artwork coming for Croptoberfest, and more information about that coming very, very soon. And thanks so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel, trying to get up to that 100 subscriber mark. I'm about halfway there. So I appreciate that if you have already subscribed. And if you haven't, I would love for you to go to YouTube and in the search type Daytona Area Scrapbooking and subscribe. My 60th retreat is going to be at the St. Simon's Retreat in March, St. Simon's Island, Georgia. We had a wonderful time last January. It's a little chilly, so it's going to be in March this year. The Floridians in the bunch, we were very chilly. So it's going to be wild and groovy. So we're going to do our wild prints, but we're also going to have a day of tie-dyes and 60s for my 60th retreat. And then finally, in case you missed it, there are 2 secret boxes now available. So Creative Memories does this every few months. The last one was in June. And so this one we will open on September. When will we open? Thursday, September 8th, and I will be hosting a special class again, which we'll open the box together on Zoom, and then we will have a class. So if you purchase the box through me, not only am I offering you free shipping, but also you'll get an invitation to the special class, and where we will use the items in the box for the class. Alrighty, well, that's it for my announcements. So now it's time to make a page. That's what you're here for. So we're going to do a design along, and then you'll be able to ask any questions. And hello again to everybody. I haven't been in the chat here, so I haven't seen. So hello to everybody on here watching this morning, and thanks for being here. I am in the North Carolina mountains, and I will be headed out of here very soon. Just going to finish packing up after I do my Techie Tuesday. All right, so now let me go ahead and, you know what? One more thing I have to do before we get started is just show you real quick what's new from CM. In addition to the secret boxes, if you missed it on my Facebook page, is the awesome new back to school collection. And I love this album cover that looks like a composition notebook. It is so fun. And not only are the papers fun, I love this annual paper that goes from kindergarten all the way to senior year. This paper pack, it's a 14 pack. So normally a paper pack's a 12 pack. It's a 14 pack, so you can go all the way. So whether or not you're doing elementary school, of course, because they're reversible, so you don't have to use the side with the names or the grades. And I love the variety map packs. These frames are awesome, like for framing maybe your school portraits, like shown here, to do a page, kind of a lead-in page for that grade. Some new sticker letters, handwriting stencils, stickers. This Home Sweet Home Border Maker cartridge is great. Of course, that would be so great if you're doing 2020 pages where we were all at home. It's also great for homeschool. It's just a fun little punch with it's called Home Sweet Home. And then 5 new dual tip pens in bright colors. So if you've been waiting on some new pens, you will also be excited about that. Alrighty. Okay. Yes. Yep. Thank you, Stacy. Yes. Everything that Creative Memories comes out with in paper, they also come out with in they also come out with in digital. Now, let me make sure. I'm going to go ahead and take off my banners so that I'm not clicking in places. So I'm not clicking around where you can't see. That has been a problem in the past. And I love that apparently StreamYard has fixed themselves a little bit, so I don't have to share my whole computer to share the screen with you. So yay. All right, so this is Artisan 6. It's a piece of software that is you can purchase it on forever.com. I am what's considered an ambassador at Forever. This is a program that Creative Memories used to sell. It used to be called Storybook Creator and then Storybook Creator Plus. During Creative Memories transitions, or as some of us that have been around a long time called the dark years of CM, where CM for like a little blip wasn't around, they let go of all their digital. Well, now you can purchase digital kits and you can actually print pages and covers. And so they have a very robust line of digital offering, but you can't print hardbound books. So if you were a past Storybook Creator user, then and if you have a new computer now, and if you're ready to get back to it, or if you just want to dip your toe into digital and you have a PC, or if you have Parallels, if you're running Parallel on your Mac, then you can also run this program. And Parallels, those of you that have Macs probably know those kinds of software will let you run a PC on your Mac so that you can run PC only programs. So this is a PC only program. It is my go-to. This is also how I create all my graphics, the slides that you saw in the intro, and my flyers. It's a lot of how I create those kinds of things. Okay, so I'm in my O'Gorman family album. I just finished during this retreat, 2012. See, this is why I do the Let's Taco about it. You know, I'm so busy running around, running retreats, working, that like you doing work, maybe you're behind. So just don't want you to think that I'm all caught up just because I'm your advisor, because when I'm at retreats, I'm running them. I usually don't have time to work. So anyway, these are all the digital kits that I have. Well, that's about half of them. Here's the other half. But this morning, as I was getting ready to do this page, I realized I didn't have the perfect digital art kit. And I better get on this broadcast on my phone just so that I can read any questions you might have, because otherwise I won't be able to read your questions, which I want to do. Hopefully I can do this without sound, so I won't mess that up. Okay. All right. So this is just the page that comes up. It's a brand new album. I wanted to just not jump away from this section, and I'm going to try to zoom in so you can see. So when you first come on a page, it has all of these things like design tips. But what's important is on this side, it has all of your design areas. So you've got your green little dotted line that says the safe zone, the trim line, the bleed area. So basically you want to come in about a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. You don't want any text or photos to be that close to the edge of a page, which if you've done any type of design before print, you probably are aware of those kinds of things. So we just want to keep everything out of the edges. Now, what I'm looking at right now, and if you can look over to the right side of my screen, you'll see all the pages. Now, I'm not going to start on the first page or the title page. However, I like to just dive right into my album, so that'll probably be just a one page. Actually, it'll be the pictures I'm going to be working on today are from Marjorie Keenan Rawlings' homestead in Cross Creek, where she wrote The Yearling, and we did eat at the Yearling restaurant before, so that'll probably be page 1. And so then page 2 and 3 will be a 2-page spread of the museum, of the Marjorie Keenan Rawlings Museum there. And so what I did, I'm going to turn off these design guides because I just find it very cluttery. And that's up here in the top right corner. And, not up by your X, but before, right underneath that, it says print guide. So I'm going to, and now the owners of the lodge are calling me. Or I have to call them back. So I've got rid of my print guides. The next thing I want to do is change my view to 2-page. And there's a bunch of banners up here on the top. That's what these are called. You got little tabs, and then they scroll through your different menus. So you want to go to the view menu, and I'm going to change it to a 2-page spread. So I'm going to have 2 separate trimmed pages. It asked me if I wanted to save because I just plopped on a sketch. So, so now you're seeing a 2-page spread here. And generally what I like to do, because I have all my photos over here on the right-hand side, this is where all your photos are displayed, is I like to throw the pictures on the page, kind of like a power layout. So if you're coming at this from paper scrapbooking, I'm gonna just take these pictures. Now I only have pictures for 3 pages on here, so it won't get too confusing, but I like to put when I have, like, say, a whole month worth of pictures, the side over here can get very distracting. And up at the top where it says show on the top right, over above my photos, if I switch that from all photos to photos not used, now it's probably hard because they're tiny, but these pictures, as I plop them over here, will be removed from the list on the side. So when I put them all over here, they go away. All right, so that's one way that it helps people where you're not overwhelmed and scrolling through all these pictures. And I can come over here and just switch over to the right side of the page, and I can plot pictures over there. And again, they disappear. Now, normally if I have if I've laid out 10 pages like this, and I do still call it power laying out, even though it's not in paper, then so when I sit down to work, this area is empty. So then if I delete them from the page when I sit down to get started, just those pictures kind of plop back over here. All right, so I'm going to remove them, and then I'll hit save. All right. What I wanted to show you today, because it's a design along, I went and grabbed this weekend was a virtual crop that Creative Memories ran on the virtual crop page, and I grabbed, it was the layout number 2. I saved the 2-page spread, and I'm going to recreate it here. I don't always do that, but I do. We all need a little inspiration sometimes. So when I look at this layout, I can see that there is one color paper here on the left side. And it looks like a 12 by 12 paper is laid across the middle of the 2 pages. You can kind of see the seam right down the middle. And so I'm going to kind of recreate it just like this. And I'm going to keep this, let me switch. I switched my view to 2 separate pages. Well, I thought I was going to be able to see outside. Now, again, I had so much content, but I did have to go buy some. I decided to go with the Art Nouveau. The digital stuff, even though and that's from Creative Memories, everything that Creative Memories has is available in paper is available in digital. However, it does retire, even, just like the paper can sell out, they definitely retire the packs. So just because it's out there today doesn't mean it's going to be out there forever. So I'm going to plop this page on here. That's going to be this section. Again, it's easy to just work in 12 by 12s. When you plop it over from your from the side of the page, it actually covers the whole page like a 12 by 12. So I would say that that's probably a correct placement of this page. And I'm going to plop the same page or same paper, over here, and I'm going to line it up. One thing I like is that you can work on both of the pages at the same time. So I've got this piece over here. I've got that piece over there. Now I'm going to pick a piece to go across the middle. Now you can work on 2 pages at the same time, but they are, let's see what, I don't want stripes. Let's see what this one looks like. That might work. So now this one's coming all the way up to the top. And now I'm going to switch over to this side. When I planned this, I wasn't thinking about people, cleaning up during the live. So hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm going to slide this one over here. And so this is what I have so far. And to rearrange the items on the page, you see how this is now covered by this page because I added the yellow page on after. I just come over here to the left side of my work area where it says Elements, and I drag it to the top of the list, and then it'll pop. All right. So I've got this piece underneath here, this piece over here, and things are looking good. So basically all I need to do is do something along the top, a border, and add my pictures in. Now I have many more pictures than 5. I'm going to put a title up here, and then I'll add my embellishments. So I'm going to pop over here to the embellishments for the Art Nouveau, and there are some borders included with that, and I'm just going to kind of plop them on here to see which ones I like. Well, that's nice. The beautiful thing about digital is that they can be resized. So if I want this border to be this big, then I can do that on the digital. I don't think that's going to be my choice, but let's see. This one might be nice. So I'm going to do that on both sides. And that's going to go over here. All right, so you can see how I'm building off this sketch right here. Then I'll just do a cluster of embellishments here and my title here. Let's go ahead and add the title now. I'm going to go up to my tab at the top of the screen that says Insert. I'm going to insert And then there's a section for text. I'm going to insert text. That's going to open up another box on the right-hand side, which will have all of my alignment, font, all kinds of good stuff. So I'm going to what am I going to do? I'm going to put Marjorie Keenan Rawlings Historic State Park. Now, what you didn't just see was that I had Wikipedia open, and so that I could get the spelling of the state park correct, I just copied that. I can just say, okay, now that's in there. And of course, that's very small and it's not a very fun font, so that it will not stay that way. But I wanted to show you that after you create it, and of course, it's very small. Let me zoom in a little bit. On this area right above your work area, when you're clicked on a text box, it'll have the size and the font. So now I can come down here to my font and I can pick a font that would say to me, I don't know, maybe Old Florida. What does it say? Okay, so you can also have different text in the same box. So maybe I'll do Marjorie Keenan Rawlings in like a script. Oops, my work area box popped open again, so I'll just use that. So now I'm scrolling down the right side to find a perfect font. Debbie is crashing, trying to pack up her stuff. Maybe if her bedroom's not packed, you could do that first.
It's already packed.
Bedroom's already packed. Okay. All right. Finding a perfect font is one of the hardest things. Okay, I like this one. So now I'm going to bump that up so that it's bigger. And I can make my text box about like that. Then I can change this historic state park to something a little more exciting. But not too exciting. This one's good. And make that a little bigger. This is one of the things I love about digital. I mean, you don't have to cut things from the Cricut. And you can do different fonts. You can manipulate the color. All right, I don't know can you hear all the noise in the background? Let me know, friends. As long as you can hear me talking. I'm going to sample. I'm going to change this from black to a color. So I'm going to sample a color on the page. I'm going to make it this green. And so now I've changed that to green, and I'm going to change the line spacing. Yes, you definitely have all the things. I'm going to change the line spacing. You see how that moved it closer to the Marjorie Keenan Rawlings. And okay. And that. So now I have my title. Now, if showing it, the sketch has it on like a piece of something, and I might have like a tag or something that I can use to put this on. So let me see. This tag says memories. I'm going to stretch it above. Now that looks a little funky, but that's okay. Stick with me. I'm going to take this tag, and now I'm going to go up to the top, and I'm going to go to touch up. And then I'm going to click on the option on the left that says paint. And now I have a toolbox that comes up on the right, and I'm going to switch the color to this color of the background. So I'm going to sample the background, and that is going to make my paint that same color of the background. Now I just am going to increase the diameter of the paintbrush over on the right hand side, and then I'm going to get rid of memories, just like that. Now I don't know if I'm going to keep this. I'm going to say okay. I need to drag this behind the text and see what that gets me. I don't know that it really adds to, if you double click on an item, it gets big and you get an embedded item box. I'm not really sure that adds to my page. I'm going to hide it, and by hiding it on the left side, you just click the little eye and it goes away. I kind of just like it with the white background. What do you think? Now in this kit, I've got some fun pearls and that kind of thing. And I'm going to wait to add the rest of my embellishments until after I add my pictures. So now I'm going to hide my little sketch by clicking the little eye on the left. I'm over here on the left-hand side under Elements. I'm going to go back to my home ribbon. No, I'm going to go to Insert. And if up across the top, the second item is an empty frame. So when you click on it, you get a square. Now you can drag it to make it whatever size you want. And you can add a piece of paper underneath it or a square, or you can use the photo ribbon up here on the top to add a mat. I'm not going to do that yet because I know I'm going to add a lot more pictures than were on our sketch. This is only 5 pictures and then text over here. So I know I'm going to need more room than that. So I'm going to come back over here to my photos, and let's see how many pictures. Of the outside pictures on the left, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pictures that I want on this side. Now that is the other beautiful thing about digital. If I click on this picture is a 5x7. Most of us are printing their pictures at 4x6. So that would be this size. And how do I know that? Up here it says 4. I'm going to change it to 4x6. It was like 3.99. So I really could only get, just like the sketch said, maybe 1 portrait and 2 landscape on here. Well, I want to double that. So I'm just going to do Control C to copy and then Control V to paste. I'm going to switch up at the top where I was changing my fonts. Up here, right above the page, you can dial in the sizes. So now I have 4x6s. And the reason why, if I were only doing 3 pictures on this page, I like to stay with traditional photo sizes, is one of the hard things that people have with digital is when you're looking at a small screen, you tend to make your pictures and your text much bigger than they would be in real life and paper scrapbooking. So because it's small on your screen. And so you think, oh, well, this needs to be bigger. So by putting a 4x6 on there, and dialing it in, okay, this is how big they would be if I were doing this traditionally with paper. And so from there, you can kind of gauge. So you can very easily see a photo on a scrapbook page that's maybe, half this size. And so what I'll do a lot of times, once I get that spacing the way I want or is original to the sketch, I will just shrink these and kind of double them. Now, when you paste it, sometimes it goes outside of your view area, like it just did. Yes, I spend so much time for work, Deb, as many people do on the computer, that's why a lot of people actually prefer the paper, because they say, I spend so much time on my computer that I don't want to spend my leisure time on the computer, if you will. So I've kind of just taken the work area that was originally defined. And now I'm going to just resize these things so that I get, a nice feel to the page. I'm going to move everything over, and I'm selecting everything by holding the shift key, and then I'm going to use my arrow on my keyboard to move it over. Now I'm moving it over because I want to leave some room on the right side of my page for the gutter where the book is bound. I'm going to bump this page up just a tick so that, and I'll have to do that on the right page as well, so that there's equal spacing around. So I'm liking this. Now I had originally thought maybe I would put 5 or 7 pictures, but we'll see what I can do here. So this is the sign. I just dragged from my photos on the right side, dragged it and dropped it in. Now there's a little magnifying glass over here. If I slide it up, I can zoom in on the photo. So that's how you quote unquote crop. And it's a quote by Marjorie Keenan Rawlings. And so it says it's necessary to leave the impersonal highway, to step inside the rusty gate and close it behind. And it's just a nice, about getting out into nature there. I've got a group picture. My mother-in-law was with us, so I have this group picture of us out by the barn. I think I'll make that the largest photo on the page. And so now I want to go back, let's see, to the photos not used, so I don't use. I love this picture of the oranges. Let's see, this is a picture of the outside of the house. So let me put that over here. And there's a picture of an old car. Oh wait, but I do love these chickens. I think I'm gonna do the chickens, and there's a picture of the barn that we're standing next to. And what else? I do love these oranges. Okay, so that, so I can leave that as that. I do have some extra space up here, but I'll probably put an embellishment. Now I could squeak in another photo up here, depending, or I could, since this like orange is just, it's just kind of not B-roll, but it's all kind of just the scenery of the outside. So I could split this even further, make it even smaller, since it's not like a person. And then I can add in maybe the picture of this old truck. And I do have these fun flowers, but I don't think they're going to make the cut. Yes, so that's what I'm going to show you next step. I'm going to move these up I don't want to move that up. I'm going to click on the largest photo, and I'm just going to mat this one photo. Now you could mat all of them, may decide to do that. And I'm in the photo ribbon up at the top of my screen. So I click on the photo ribbon, and now I'm going to click on mat. So automatically it dials in a white mat. And since my background on my page is white, I'll probably leave it that way. But over on the right-hand side, you can adjust the width. So you can make it thicker or thinner. I'm going to do it at 3. And you can slide the relief bar. So the relief will either make it so that the you can see the shadow popping through, so that it's a frame sitting on top, or that's a negative relief. If you go on the positive relief, you can see the shadow comes around to the bottom right and the side, like the photo is sitting on top of the mat underneath. The nice thing is you could throw a piece of paper behind it, like I did with the backgrounds, and you could size it to that. However, when you do it this way, the mat is attached. And they've got some standard mats up here that have the different relief and all that dialed in. Now, one thing I like to do, and that's at the end, is give everything a shadow on the page so everything doesn't look as flat. But I'm going to go ahead and add the pictures to this right side of the page. And I realize this is a little off, but I'm already anticipating these aren't level above the oranges. And so what I'm going to do is add a embellishment in this area. But I'm going to plop on my pictures on the right side first. Now, little shortcut, I can grab all of these pictures that are already over on the left side. I can copy and then I can paste them over to the right side. And that just saves me, although it did not really take any time at all, it just saves me from adding those pictures slots, because when you add in a new picture, it'll just replace it. All right, so let me see my sketch again. Well, I don't need to see my sketch. I don't want them like this because, oh, that's a good question, Deb. So right now, if I click on pages, I can see none of these are saved. So I'm going to go ahead and click save since you suggested it. And then you're going to see the pages populate over here on the side when they're done saving. And so then that's good. There is a recovery feature. So if the program crashes, sometimes you can recover. The layers are, everything is over here on the left side under the elements corner. So those are your different layers. So if you look over here on the left side, I've got my green background, then there's the gold piece on top of it. Then I have the border. So you can get rid of things. That way. You can click on them and delete them. That's especially helpful when you lose an item on the page. Where did that go? So I'm going to just resize this. So right now that's 4x4. I'm going to resize this to 4x6. All right. And you can see it put in that up and down, photo. It didn't squish it and make it all out of whack. It just resized the photo inside, which is also very nice, so that things don't get wonky. And how many pictures do I have over here? All right, so in here I have photos of the inside of the museum. And now I've just kind of stacked all of these little photo holders on top of each other. And I have less photos for in here, but there's a picture of her table and typewriter. So I want to put that. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more pictures. 3 are portrait, and one is a really fun picture of a cookbook that's open to a recipe, which I really liked. Thanks, Deb. When my mother-in-law visits, we like to explore different places in Florida that maybe we haven't explored before. And my book club at the time in 2013 had read The Yearling, which many of us probably read in school, or we saw the movie. And so it was a nice little adventure. All right, so now this page is more of like there's like an overlapping element, whereas the left side was very, when you double click on an item, I think I mentioned, it blows up the embedded image so that you can edit it further. I'm going to go over to the left side of my elements and drag this below the matted picture so that it's just overlapping it. And then you can see this little car picture is here is tiny. I'm going to drop in. This is the picture of the cookbook, and this is the kitchen area with fresh eggs. And you can actually see the cookbook off here to the side. And I guess we'll do this one. This is an ironing board. All right, so we've got glimpses of inside and outside. And that is a picture. Marjorie Keenan Rawlings. And now the coolest part is that you can just resize things, to fit whatever aesthetic you're going for on the page. And unfortunately, you cannot do that with printed photos, because once you have that photo printed as a 4x6, if you then want it to be smaller and printed as a wallet, then you've got to go, print it again. And so it is lovely that you can just resize things as needed. Okay, so I think I'm going to call that done. And I don't love that all the small is at the bottom, because design-wise, the bigger things should be at the bottom. So I'm going to just switch that up really quick. And with paper, it's a lot easier to go with the done is better than perfect saying, because you're not, usually if you've got everything printed, you're not going to print it again. You're going to work with what you have right in front of you. Now, where you can get into a little bit of a fix with the digital is like there's endless tweaking. Like I just tweaked this right side page a little bit, and now it's a completely different layout, but I just feel better about it because it's weighted. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a matte as well. If you're on a dark background, a white matte definitely helps. Now I'm going to leave this area. I gotta bring this up a little bit because I need it to match the other side. There's little tabs you can drop on the left-hand side and above if you're trying to line something up across the two pages. If you're lining things up on a page, it's very easy because there's little snap to grid lines. I'm going to make this one a little taller. And okay, now I'm going to hit save again. Now this area over here is what I can use for a text box. And I can come back here to my content, and I'm just going to plop this element on the page just so that I can grab, oops, I didn't mean to do that, undo button. It went right into the slot. I want to grab this light color cream color. So now what I'm going to do is insert, up at my insert tab on the top, I'm going to insert a shape. And there's a little paw print, but on a drop down box appears, and I'm going to say a rectangle. And this is going to be a text box. So I'm going to have it stretch the length here of this area. And I'm going to remove the border. And then, of course, I don't want it to be filled with this color, but I do want a solid color. I'm going to sample this color. So now it's this peachy or cream color. And now I can just delete that box. Once your box is made, you can, resize it and have it, you know, be as big or small as you need it. All right, so now I'm going to put my text on top of here. I'm actually probably going to need more room. I'm going to stretch it through there and then put it underneath this photo by just dragging it on the left side. Now I'm ready to add my text. I'm going to insert up at the top, insert a text box and dial that in. I'm going to pick a very, I'm going to use the same probably as that. The Historic State Park font. And then I'm going to create it. So here it is. Now you're not going to see this, but I'm going to sneak over to Wikipedia and grab the history part from Wikipedia, which talks about about Marjorie Keenan Rawlings. So she says she was a native of Washington, D.C. That is another beautiful, beautiful thing about digital when you're doing things like this. Now there's a little footnote here. I'm going to get rid of that. And the text, so this, again, this gets tricky. People tend to make text much larger than they would their own writing or on a computer. So this is 16, which is kind of large for text. So I'm going to go down to like 12. And you see there was another paragraph down here. So I need to turn that to 12. And I'm just using my toolbar on the side to do this. And this is just my album, so I don't need to worry about this being a separate paragraph, even though that might be correct. I'm going to switch the alignment to left indent. Nope, I'm going to switch it to right. And that way it'll wrap this photo nicely. I can just pull that one down. And I might be able to get away with going just a smidge bigger. And then I can take this down a smidge smaller. All right. So now I have information about the museum over here, and then I can I can come and add I can add a personal note that we went there with my mother-in-law. Now all I have to do is add the let's see. I can add my embellishments. So I'm going to switch over to the embellishments. And there's this one that says peace and quiet. Yes, that's pretty standard, Faith, like as far as fonts. Now, what I tell people to do is if they think it's too small, down on the bottom of your screen, this is showing at 56%. So if you go up to 100%, and you can read it, you know, that's what it's going to be when it's printed at 100%. You know, because we're seeing two page spreads, so we're seeing 24 inches in one look. So it's hard to kind of gauge. But if you bump up that percentage to 100%, then it's easier to kind of get a feel. So this has a I'm going to put I'm going to put lovely on there because my mother-in-law says, you know, like everything is charming and lovely. She says, oh, that's charming. Oh, that's lovely. So I'm going to put lovely on here. And There's these fun tags and flowers and leaves. There's a lot of fun elements in here. And again, this is where you can end up tweaking forever. But I knew I was going to put something right here. Maybe it won't be lovely. Maybe it'll be this. Oh, bless you. All right. I can make lovely very small. I can kind of put it here over this picture. And let's see. I can add this. I can shrink it down. Now everything comes with the aspect ratio. Stacy says, "Bless you, Gail." Well, okay, so I did this 2-page layout, Deb, and with announcements. Everyone says "bless you" online, Gail. So I feel like this layout would take me a little longer if I was in person. Well, I mean, it's hard to compare because honestly, it would be a lot of pre-planning to do this exact page in paper, because I'd have to know ahead of time that I want these printed as wallets and like these printed as wallets, these other small ones on the right side. So it's really hard to compare, but I would say, a 2-page spread in 45 minutes is probably comparable, depending on how fast people, work, if not faster. I don't know. What do you think as far as speed? It's hard to totally compare because there's just some things you can do in digital that you cannot do with paper. And of course, as far as like texture and stuff, there are things that happen in the paper world. Yes, that is definitely a danger. You can play for forever. And that's where you have to have the same sort of mentality that you do with paper, where you just at some point say done is better than perfect and move on. No. Well, actually, you can. So I have done a completely different Techie Tuesday on by scraptual pages, or where I will lay out, say, the titles and different things digitally, and then you add other components like embellishments on top of the digital pages. Now, not in a digital bound book, but if you're printing the pages as prints almost, then you can do that. Then you can put them in a regular Creative Memories album, and then you can add little pockets. So you could add little memorabilia pockets, so you could add your kidney stone there, so that it's part of the page or a photo of it. All right, so I think I'm going to call this 2-page spread done. The last thing I'm going to do is add a shadow to all of the elements. I tend to not enjoy text with a shadow, so I did not select the text. So I'm just holding the Shift key. I selected every element on the page. If I do Control A, select all, I'll select everything. I'm going to just zoom in because I don't want everything. Some of these you can see here, if I go heavy, now it's an even more more drastic shadow there. But I tend to use the light shadow on everything, just so it gives that illusion of, being popped off the page as if it was a traditional element. And I'm just spinning this around. And now I need to come over here to this page and do the same thing. So I'm going to do the background of the text, and all the photos. Oh, and don't forget this. All right. So now I've given this, you can see the little shadow underneath. And if I remove it, you can see it's just sitting flat on there. So I do like to have the shadow on there just so that it gives that illusion that it's on top of the page. All right. I think that's done. I'm going to hit save one more time. And the first 2 pages of my next album are now complete. Oh, I will mention I didn't get into the editing at all. Most people, if you've done your editing before, then you won't have to do anything. But real quick, I just did want to show you, say this picture of the iron is a little, yes, that's a good point, Stacy. The journaling takes a long time. And so that way not only is your handwriting in there, but you can kind of get that book printed and go back and journal later. You know how we like to do. It's kind of, I try to get better about journaling before I move on to the next. All right, so I'm clicked on this photo, and now I'm gonna go over to the color tab, which we didn't really play with, and I'm gonna click on brightness, and then we've got all of our brightness. So usually just by kicking up the midtones a bit, I can get the desired effect that I want. And so that is much better. And I'm going to do that over here as well. Yes. Yep. I will hopefully have the one that I just finished with me, and I will bring that. So I'm just going to bump up these darker inside photos, just the midtones. And now they're a little brighter. Okay, now I'm going to call it done. All right. Just check back here through that. I think that is it. All right. Where am I? There I am. Okay. Well, so that is all for today. But thank you all for being on here today. And if you're watching this replay and if you have any questions, I do continue to monitor the comments so I can answer those questions for you, or you can message me privately. And sorry, we're getting ready to shut down the retreat, so it's a little noisy in here as people are packing up. Hopefully you can still hear me, but we will, I'll answer those questions, and you can share and like and comment on this live to be entered into my Fun Friday giveaway until Thursday night. So Friday morning, I'll tally up everything and we will be ready for the Fun Friday giveaway. So one last reminder that the next secret box is available. You can go to DaytonaAreaScrapbooking.com. You can order them through the CM website. And if you do place an order through there, you will still be able to attend my class. But if you'd like free shipping, then you can purchase through my website, and I will either deliver it to you, drop ship it, or mail it from my house, so that you have it in time for the opening in the class on September 1st. Well, that is all for me today. We're getting ready to pack up and head back to Florida. And so I will, until I see you all again, stay scrappy, my friends. Bye-bye.